Hi there and welcome again. Today we're talking about disagreement and what it is and how important it is. And this is one of the most important podcasts we've done to date, actually, because disagreement is actually a property, a fundamental property of the universe. Almost like geodesics, part of general relativity, Einstein's general relativity, with all the other people who helped him on that. But yeah, essentially, because of Einstein's principle of special relativity, which was announced in 1905, we know that people disagree on the time. And we know that because it doesn't matter how you're standing or moving, everyone, all sorts of different people, agree on the speed of light in a vacuum. And what that means is that we disagree on the time. So if you have two watches set to the same time and they move around in space, basically it's an easy experiment to do. Brian Greene does it in some of his lectures. You can see that the watches soon disagree with one another. And so what that means is that time is personal to the observer. And if time is personal to the observer, then so are their view on events, and so they will, if they disagree on time, then they will disagree on events and a whole range of other things. So it's a fundamental property of the universe, or our universe anyway, that we disagree on time and therefore will disagree on other things as well. Now, in psychological terms, psychologists like Jordan Peterson have spoken about things like the hyperactive agency detector, so the ability of humans to detect ill will, especially in others, or agency in others. And that's a psychological principle. So humans do that. They see agency on the part of not just people, but even objects sometimes. Think that there's ill will there sometimes. But the reality is, to the extent that disagreement is a part of that, disagreement is a property of the universe. It's not necessarily ill will or someone being unreasonable or bloody-minded. It's just a property of the universe. Time is personal. We disagree on the time as a result, and as a result, time is a fundamental part of events and a range of other things. Therefore, we disagree. Not because humans are unreasonable, but because humans see time differently than each other. And this is very important because there are questions that have plagued humanity, philosophical questions, which I believe we can answer and that we have answered even on this podcast, about whether human nature is bad or evil, right? And certainly, Confucius and the Confucians had a view, Mencius and followers of his, and then through legalism, Shenzhe and Han Feizi, they also had a view, an opposite one, that human nature was bad and needed to be regulated. And Taoism has a sort of bit each way in terms of how they feel. But the point is that disagreement, to the extent that disagreement relates to ill will, evil, a bad nature, so on and so forth, disagreement's a property of the universe. It doesn't come from humans itself. It comes from special relativity and the fact that time is personal to the observer. It's as simple as that. And that is an optimistic view to take on the future as a result of that fact that time is personal to the observer and therefore disagreement is inevitable. And it's something to be positive about in terms of the future. Disagreement is there, but it doesn't come from people through their nature. It's a property of the universe, and common ground can be found. And that's a positive way to look at the future and a good place to start. Anyway, send me an email, andrew@keops.au, andrew@keops.au. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.